most precious gift you can give. You give me your time. And I appreciate that. I don't do many of these talks, but when I do, my promise to you is that we have, what, about 45 minutes or an hour we're going to spend together. Will be time well spent. You're going to walk away more inspired, and I'll give you some practical stuff. I don't have anything for sale. I mean, I sell a lot of stuff, of course. I have courses and stuff, but there is nothing like run in the back if you really want to learn stuff. So there is no need for that. All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
When I used to come to meetings, like office meetings and all that, I hated it. And I always sit in the back, like you guys, because it was title company would bring shitty donuts and coffee. And then there was a big pitch, you know? And you just want to get the hell out as fast as you can. So you guys in the back, I promise you it's going to be good. All right. With that, I do have a warning. Some of you probably never heard of me, which is fine. I use what they call a colorful language. And it's not a pose or to impress you or to be cool or be like Gary Vee or anything. It's just how I speak. Ask my wife. That's my lovely woman. For those of you wondering why in the world would I leave California after 27 years and move to Virginia, honey, stand up, please. You tell me if it was a good decision.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right? That's my beautiful wife, Anna. And I also have my man, Eric, here. All right. So, you guys are ready?
Yes.
All right. We're going to move quickly because I want to share a lot of good stuff with you. There'll be some inspiration, some motivation, a lot of practical strategies. Rista and I, thanks for inviting me, by the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to roll up our sleeves and actually do some work. So you're going to need some paper. You're going to need a pen. We're going to write things down. Please do that. The benefit is not just listening. You're going to get a lot more value if you actually do some of the stuff. It's going to be easy. It's going to be fun. We'll do a little bit of math. I suck at math. So bear with me. All right. First, we're going to talk about control. How to take control of your life, your business, your income, your clients. It feels kind of wonky right now, doesn't it? I spoke with an agent recently, 37 offers on one listing. Market is kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of wonky. Finding good sellers, getting them to price it right. It's crazy, getting good listings. Is that a challenge right now? So I'll leave you with a strategy how you can take 24 listings guaranteed in the next 12 months. Would that be cool? Yeah? All right. I mean, we can talk about anything else. We can talk about my wife if you want. All right. I need to warn you. There'll be a little voice in your head that Buddha used to call the monkey, the drunken monkey voice. And it's going to say shit like, I've heard this before. It's going to say things like, I've done this before, I tried it and it didn't work. This is the habitual thinking that got me in trouble, and I'll tell you in just a moment that it was a pretty big mess I was in. Part of that was the habitual thinking and reaction we have. I've heard that. I tried it. Didn't work. It's not going to work in my area. Or he's too handsome. Of course he can do it. Right? My wife feeds me that. So just be careful. Give yourself a chance. Okay? Just suspend it. When the voice does come, and I promise you it will. Has it already? Like, I don't know if I'm in the right place, and he uses bad language, and what's that accent about? Where is he from? So I'll tell you later. All right. So this is the drunken monkey that can get you in trouble. Mine is a master of deception. It tells me all kinds of crazy stuff. So we are here, what, mid-February, towards the end of February. Remember the New Year's resolutions and goals you set? How many set goals for 2020? How many set goals to make over 100,000 this year? Keep your hands high. Nice. Nice, ambitious group. 150,000? Nice. 200,000? Ooh. 250,000? Very nice. Very nice. Now, New Year's resolution ends up like this. Can you relate to that, or am I the only one? Right? Does that look familiar? In one way or another? So, in order for you to really reach those goals, and those are great goals, by the way. What's your goal?
250.
250?
200.
200. What's your goal?
250.
250. Nice.
Over.
The trick, and I'll give you the answer, it's a 4-part formula you need to have in place to do that. And I have students doing that. I have students who do over $1 million. I have students who are just starting and doing 50,000 or anywhere in between. The number you pick is a good number because that's what you want to achieve. But to get there, first, you must get out of your comfort zone. This was my biggest problem. I was too comfortable. I call it the Toyota Corolla syndrome. It's just good enough. You know, you live good enough. I mean, you don't go to Bali on vacation. You don't own a beautiful big house, but it's just good enough. And it can be trouble. It was trouble for me. Get out of the comfort zone, number one. Number two, you must be clear what you're after. Making more money, doing this, doing that, is too vague. Be very, very clear. Not only what you want, but why. Why does it really matter? And I'm not going to go Tony Robbins on you here today, but it is a huge part of the success that you want, is be very clear. This is what I want, and here is why it matters to me, and I'm not going to stop until I get it. It's non-negotiable. Make your goals non-negotiable. Fair enough? All right. Next, be committed. Even though the self-doubt will kick in, as it always does. Am I cut out for it? The business is changing. Do I need to learn more stuff? What about the competition? There will always be something that voice holding you back. Work with it. Move in spite of that. I'm here to tell you, you can do this. You can do 250. You can do 250. You can do whatever number pleases you, excites you. The hardest part for me is not to teach people real estate. I've been doing it for over 20 years. That's not the hardest part. I can teach you mechanics, you know what I mean? I can teach you, I can show you. Do this, use this, say this. The hardest part is usually for you to buy in that you are worth it, that you can do the 250. You can do $500,000, you can do more. To really buy into it without that rah-rah, let's everybody jump and down and be happy and believe. It's more than that. Deep inside, you're like, I've got what it takes. I've got what it takes. The number one struggle many of my students fight with is, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. I know I was. So let's do it. Why do people fail? Want to know? It's actually not that complicated. Number one is they're not clear on what they want. It's kind of like, I want to make more money. I want to pay off my debt. It's too vague. You got to be specific. Their why is weak. Why do you really want it? Why does it really matter? And then they have no plan to get there. That's like your GPS is busted. And you need to get from Arlington to wherever we are, Woodbridge. I would get lost without it. You know, I've been here for many years now, but I still get lost. Or it's a bad plan. You're following bad plan. French have this saying, never trust a skinny chef. It seems like this industry attracts a lot of coaches who never sold a house in their life. You notice that? So be careful. You may follow a bad plan. What is the traditional method to reach something? Well, this was mine. I will make $200,000, hopefully. I call that number anal extraction. It kind of sounds pretty good. Now I will prospect and grind my ass 7 days a week. Whoops. And then I will fit my lifestyle into whatever money I can get. That's the traditional method 90% of this industry still operates on. Maybe some of you. Yes? So let's change that today. Because maybe you don't know that January 17 is the ditch the New Year's resolution day. If it was such a good plan, if it was such an effective way of doing it, we all would be driving Rolls-Royce and living in mansions. That doesn't seem to be the case. So I'll show you a different way. This was me. You know, I like when real estate speakers come in and says, my first year in real estate, I did 700 transactions in 24 hours, and I am awesome. 2 years into real estate in Southern California, I was homeless. And that's my story. Because I followed the wrong plan, didn't have a strong why, didn't have the right mindset. That right there is Cadillac DeVille, 1981. I call it affectionately my rust bucket. I don't know if you can see it here, but the passenger window would not roll up. It would be permanently down. And this was my home. This was my transportation, my office. I failed miserably at first in real estate. And I'm not telling you this to impress you or to pity or any of that. I just share this because I know a thing or two about struggle. And when this was happening, it was embarrassing. It was hard. It was scary. When you sleep in a car at night, there's a lot of noise. You're cold. You're very uncomfortable. But mostly you feel like you're a failure. Like this is as bad as a human being can really, this is low you can get. But at the time I didn't know that. What I do know today is it was also very important for me to go through it because I was able to bounce back, and now I can share that story with you and show you how no matter where you are today, no matter what's going on in your business or your life. If that guy from Czechoslovakia went from homeless in 10 months to a really nice lifestyle and continuing that good lifestyle today, every single one of you can reach it, no matter where you are today. I met some good people along the way who helped me. That's Frank Kern, that's his Rolls Royce, and this man. Some of you probably recognize my man, Tony Robbins. And it was Tony who first helped me understand that, yes, hard work is important, having good systems is important, knowing how to get to your goals and prospecting and follow-up and CR, all that matters. But you got to get it straight here first. I always, up till that point, I had thought, oh, it's the new age, rah-rah, California, let's be happy, visualize, I'm going to sit on my couch all day and money's just going to fall in my lap. It doesn't work that way. I tried. It doesn't work that way, okay? Mindset, important. Systems, important. Work, important. It's all part of the process, and I'll share with you the process. Life by default means you just do the best with what you got. Today, I want to nudge you towards life by design. Because I sat down. It was actually Saturday morning in Southern California, one of those ugly mornings. They don't have many of those, but this one was cold, windy. And I woke up and I said, enough. Enough. Time for a change. I want to design my life exactly the way I want it, and I do it to this day. This process changed my life. I'm going to walk through it. We're going to move very quickly, so please bear with me. You get a lot of value out of it, even if you've done it with me before, even if you think like this. Trust me. There's a thing in the back. Have you noticed? It's called the charging station. You notice that? You plug your phone. I want this session to be your charging session. So you walk away feeling like, I feel better. I know something I didn't know before, or I can do something I didn't believe I could do before. Fair enough? Yes. Are you guys with me? Yes. All right. I want you to meet somebody. This is Dr. Gayle Matthews. She's a professor at DUC. A lot of the stuff I share with you is not just some good ideas. This is science. This is evidence. I will show you how you increase your chances by 42% to reach your goals. Would that be cool? Yes. Yeah? Yes. 42% better? Yeah? All right, so let me show you what she did. This is science. She took 267 people and did an experiment with them. And it was a pretty interesting experiment because these were all kinds of people, professionals, homemakers, students. She wanted a broad spectrum of people in this experiment. And what she did was a simple test. She took the group, divided in half. She told all of these participants, come up with a goal. Come up with something that you want to achieve. And they all did. But then she divided the group into a half. First half did something, the other half didn't. They wrote it down. That was the only difference. You ready for the results? Check this out. People who were in the group who wrote their goals down reached 42% more likely to reach their goal, just by writing it down. Something as simple as take a piece of paper, write it down. I have this thing. Let's see if I have it here. I do. Because I believe in simple. If something takes 167 steps and 14 months, ain't going to do it. I know I won't, right? So simple. I carried this, well, Church of Borino. Wouldn't that be great? Not going to go there. My wife is shaking her head. It took me 15 minutes to get her to that point. Usually I'm a lot faster. So what I do is just write it down. Because if they did it and there's evidence that it works, why wouldn't you? So it's called a focus planner. I really like it. Just write it down. Simple stuff. So now, is it good so far? Yes. Can you do this? Here's the real question. Will you do this?
Yes.
Now let me ask you, just out of curiosity, if you're like, well, maybe, why not? Why not? Nothing to lose, right? You can only gain. Not that complicated. All right. I want you to have a good life, whatever good life is for you. But to get there, we're going to have a roadmap. We are here. We want to get there. We need to figure out what there is for you. And this is not your goal-setting stuff. It's going to be a little interesting, but we got to go to work. What is the biggest obstacle or problem you had to deal with? Difficult client was the biggest. What about you? Biggest obstacle?
I actually learned I had celiac disease, so I had to relearn how to eat.
You had to relearn how to eat?
Yeah, that was a challenge.
And you managed that?
And not feeling good, yeah, like physically feeling awful.
Is it better now?
Amazing, yeah.
So now, if you could deal with that,
right.
Can you deal with like a stubborn for sale by owner?
Exactly.
Say it with me. Fuck yeah. See what I'm saying? This is some cool group of people. You ladies don't mess around, and the dudes, of course, but
Yeah.
very cool. How did you solve it and overcome it? What stands out for you? What was your biggest obstacle? Tell me your name, please. Right there. Hello.
Julie Henry.
Julie, tell me, biggest obstacle you solved, biggest problem you solved. What happened?
I fought breast cancer.
Oh.
Terrific.
We got some rock stars in this room. Holy shit, I'm going to learn from you. I should sit down and take notes. Damn, that's brilliant. What did you learn from it?
I learned that, number one, the support system from all my fellow friends and colleagues and everyone here in this room and in my life, it really meant so much to me, and it gave me the support to realize how strong that I am.
Amen.
She is really.
That's awesome. Give her a hand. This can be a very lonely business at times. Do you guys feel that sometimes? So to be able to, in this day and age, we were all, you know, doing this 24 hours. It's nice to come together like this. Share and be inspired and learn something.